Wesley Live, our weekly hangout for community and connection. I'm Derek Scott III, hanging out with a great panel. It's going to be a great night, great discussions, great conversations. Really excited about tonight. So with that, we're going to get these introductions on the way. So let's start with Tess. Tess, how you doing? All the way from Dallas, Texas. How you doing tonight? And Tess, here's what I want to know. I want to know how you're doing. I want to know what you're planning on wearing for the Arctic blast that's coming through, because it's going to be colder this week. So how you doing? What are you wearing this week?
I'm doing great. The cold has already kind of started here. It was chilly this morning. It's also really windy. Like, it gets so windy here compared to Florida, which my poor dog and his big ears does not like. And he's scared of everything. So every time a leaf comes at him, he jumps. It's really entertaining, but it's also kind of sad. But even just like throughout the day, the temp's been dropping, and it's going to be a lovely 30 degrees in the morning. So I am probably going to have like 2 layers of pants on. I have this pair of like fuzzy pants that I just put over whatever else I'm wearing. And then I have a jacket waiting by my door, and he's going to get really used to short walks tomorrow, because that's more cold than I want to deal with. So
solid. Tess, it's good to see you. Welcome to the show. Your second time on Studio Wesley Live. Neil, how is it, my friend? What are you wearing this week when it gets cold?
Hi there, Derek. Doing pretty good. Had a busy weekend at the old bar, so I'm still in recovery. And I decided my webcam died. Wait, come back. Hey, I'm back. The beauty of a live show. Yep. So I decided I'm going to model what I'm wearing for you. I was actually seeing if the shirt still fit after a year. Brought to you in part by Target. Long sleeve, really comfy. I think I bought this pre-boycott. I think, by the way, it's like at least 2 years old. So like, nice. It's a new old stock Target. They don't make this thing anymore, but it's pretty comfy. It's long sleeve. It's got some good, insulation in it. And I've just been sadly looking at it in my closet for an entire year, going, I miss wearing this shirt. But now I'm gonna be able to wear it again, because I think I've worn a jacket maybe twice lately. And that was because it's raining.
Super cool. I actually do recognize that shirt, Neil. And yes, I like you in that shirt. I like you generally. I like you in that shirt. Glad you're here, Neil. Grace, how's it going? All the way from Atlanta, Georgia. How is it? What are you wearing this week when it gets cold?
It's going. So it's funny. I texted Neil that I liked that shirt before I knew they were going to talk about it. So I think Neil liked the panel. Tess, if you also like the shirt, thumbs up, thumbs down. Panel approved shirt. I'm well. I'm so excited for the cold weather. Can I handle it? No. Am I going to lose feeling in my hands? Yes. Have I already been losing feeling in my hands over the past couple weeks? Certainly so. However, I'm so excited. I'm going to wear everything. I have cashmere sweaters that have been waiting for me. I have like all of these it's so much easier to dress for me. It's so much easier to dress in the wintertime, in the cold weather. Today I'm wearing a mock neck. It's like, it was in the 60s, so it's cropped, so I still get some like airflow, but it's a mock neck. I feel like I'm in a sweater. I have a bunch of Lily Pulitzer waiting on me. I have a bunch of classics from Talbot's waiting on me. I'm gonna wear a bunch of suits. I'm gonna wear everything in 1 week. My whole closet in 1 week.
Wow. I love that. Glad you're here, Grace. Yeah, I intend to wear, there's a sweater that a good friend of mine named Kevin gave me, oh gosh, in my early 20s. It's a forest green sweater, and it's got this, it's kind of designed kind of interesting, like in the sleeves and stuff. And oddly enough, I can't do this with everything, but I can still wear it. Like, it still works. So I will be wearing that sweater, because I just love wearing that sweater when it gets cold. But I also love it when it gets cold. I love just wearing t-shirts when it gets cold. I actually like wearing flip-flops when it's cold. But that's a different conversation for a very different day. So we're here. We're going to get started with our highlights of the week. Let's go. Highlights of the week. It's where each person on the panel will share something that they saw in the news, something that's going on, neighborhoods to nations, that they want the Studio Wesley universe to be aware of. And so we're going to start with Grace. Grace, tell us what your highlight of the week is for this week.
So my highlight of the week, first off, to do like a mini update, when I talked about Amanda the Adventurer earlier, it did come out. quick update, it did come out. Go watch it, go play it, have fun.
Nice.
But this week, we are talking about the Louvre heist. The Louvre heist.
The
The
Louvre heist.
Louvre,
Yeah.
the Louvre
Yes.
heist. Yeah, I was hesitant to like talk about it, and I know that like during the week that it happened, I was like, "Ooh, should we talk about this on highlights?" But Hank Green talked about it. And I'm prone to trusting Hank Green or the Green brothers on topics of kind of any nature because if they don't know, they're going to find people that know about it.
Hmm,
So,
hmm.
Hank Green had a video, and that's what this is linked to, where he talked to somebody who is like, I don't remember what specifically she works for, but she works for a community of people that are hired to hack into or break into spaces. It's called like penetration testing, I think, which is a phrasing for that. But they
Phrase.
it's a
Yeah.
phrase, but she's tested or she has done like some situations where she tests like just like the security of places, either the physical security or the like cyber security. It's kind of like in Criminal Minds when Penelope Garcia is like really good at hacking, and so she got in trouble for a while, and then
Mhm.
they were like, actually, we would love to hire you because you're really good at this. Do you want to work for the good guys? And in Criminal Minds, they are the good guys, so it's kind of nice. But they, yeah. So they just talk about it. They talk about like all the different things. They talk about stuff that you've probably seen like little snippets of on social media, but it's a good video and it was entertaining for me and informative and trustworthy, which is hard to find nowadays. So
Thanks for that highlight. We're gonna have all the highlights in the chat on YouTube as well as tomorrow. All the highlights. Not only will they be on Instagram, but they'll be in our link tree as well. Like all of the highlights are. I know, like Allison, we see you. We see you, Allison, and all the work you're doing. Thank you. So yeah, you'll get all these highlights tomorrow. Thanks for that highlight, Grace. Neil, highlight of the week.
Hello. Before I get to my highlight, there's a fun thing I thought of in relation to Grace's. There's a scene, I can't remember if it's Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. I think it's Better Call Saul, where the character Mike basically like does the same thing because in the show, like his gig is like as a security consultant or whatever. And he gets into like this store, like this office or something like that, literally just impersonates an employee and talks mean to people, which means the underlings give him whatever he wants. And basically just gets into the office and goes to like whoever's in charge and is like, hey, here's all your security issues. I'm a security consultant. Hire me if you want. So I guess it's kind of the same deal, except he wasn't hired to do it. He just kind of, canoodled his way in. Anyways, my highlight, as people know good and well by now, I'm sort of just doing urban sociology stuff and talk about fun local things in Jacksonville. This is a thing that actually happened yesterday. Normally I have things that are coming up in Jackson. This happened yesterday. I believe it happens like every year or something like that. I've actually never been to one. It's called Porch Fest. So in parts of Jacksonville, particularly sort of downtown and the sort of Springfield area, which is just north of downtown. I work downtown, and Springfield is where we have our warehouse at Manifest. It's called Porch Fest. So essentially it's like, free concerts and, food trucks, all sorts of like entertainment from people to go through. And I believe it's free as well. Like, so you can literally just, drive down there, find somewhere to park, walk around and, have free music, hit up the food trucks, which are not free because, you got to pay them money for their work and whatnot, as you should. And all sorts of entertainment. And it's just, like fun things to do that are relatively like, low cost for people, right? There's no cover charge or anything like that. You don't need to reserve a spot. You just kind of like show up and just have a good time. And I was unfortunately working during Porch Fest, so I did not get to enjoy everything going on, but a few of my friends went and said it was really fun. So if you're ever in the Jacksonville area this time next year and you're looking for something fun to do, keep your ears out for Porch Fest. A lot of people in the city end up talking about it, particularly if you live in, the sort of San Marco, Avondale, like that sort of area, or like the downtown area. People who really like going out to Porch Fest and having a good old time. So
yeah, actually, I'll just say it's Porch Fest is a big deal because it's highlighted this neighborhood that's been gentrified, yes, but this neighborhood called Springfield. That's the primary kind of location of Porch Fest. I know a lot about Porch Fest, and I've never been to Porch Fest, which is typical. But Neil, always just grateful that you are bringing the local highlights to the conversation. Because if we're not local, what are we even doing? What are we even doing? Thank you, Neil. Tess, what's your highlight of the week?
So mine is a place that I've found here in Dallas. I am living on my own, literally just me and my dog. So I've been doing lots of solo dates. And I went to the Dallas Arboretum and Botanical Gardens for the first time a few weeks ago with a friend, because they do every year this huge like fall like setup basically. And each year it has a theme. And this year it was like all about Mexican culture and heritage. And it was like, they built full houses out of pumpkins. Like it was incredible. And they had all of these, like some of the animal, like spiritual guides made out of pumpkins. Like it was, oh no, what happened? There we go. I don't know what happened. But yeah, so it's just a really cool display. And like the Arboretum itself is huge and has so much green space, and it's right on White Rock Lake. So just a really pretty place to go. I ended up actually converting like my day ticket to a membership, so I can kind of just go whenever. And the best part is you get reciprocal access to like 300 other locations across the country. Yep. So like the one in Atlanta, everyone loves the Atlanta Botanical Gardens. That one's on there. So yeah, it's like, it was a little over $100 for the year, and I get free parking. So that alone is like 3 visits, and I've already paid for it. So, and this is a random little thing, but I feel like it makes a difference. They're not strict on like bringing in, they're not strict on bringing in food and drinks and stuff. So you don't have to like pay outrageous prices. You can go and bring a coffee, or like people do picnics, and it's just a cool place. So I went and read a book for a couple hours because the weather's been really great here. So yeah, it's been a fun little find. I'm glad I did it.
You know, I do think that there needs to be like a Studio Wesley live on location, like one day. And I think that we need to do it in Dallas. I think that there needs to be a live on location kind of Dallas.
I will say, Derek, you weren't on this last time. I talked about like the Texas State Fair, but just in general, I really like Texas more than not Texas, Dallas. I like Dallas more than I thought I would.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, Dallas is cool. Dallas is cool. The Sky Lounge in the Dallas, not Houston Hobby, but the other one,
DFW.
One. Yeah, the DFW. I don't know why I just said Houston Hobby.
I was like, Houston's not.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't, sorry. And we're live, and I'm digressing while live.
Well, yes. We have 2 airports, and I assumed it's not the one that doesn't have Delta. So
it's not Love Field; it's the other one, DFW. Yeah, DFW has a really nice Sky Lounge. So thank you for bringing that highlight, because literally that highlight makes me okay. This is a promise. We can document this. I promise that in 2026, if Studio Wesley Live is still a thing, which I intend for it to be, we're going to do episodes live on location. And those locations might look like Atlanta, Dallas. We probably have to do Orlando because we just have to. And maybe we do. Crazy might do one in Jacksonville. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, Tess. Thanks for that. It's great. My highlight. I did promise that if Studio Wesley Live is still a thing, that we would do some live on location episodes, and those locations might include the 3 locations that I named. 4. I said 4 locations that I named. Okay, my highlight. Thanks, Tess. My highlight. I read this really great article at a Variety that essentially said 43% of Gen Z primarily use YouTube and TikTok. Now, the whole thing about this article, and the reason why I'm bringing the highlight, is that essentially the article is about how, because of this, Gen Z is essentially reshaping the media landscape and patterns and rhythms. There's a lot of, actually, the link's going to be, yes, Taylor, you can hold me to the promise. I just saw that in the chat. But the link is going to be in the chat that you can check that. I really want to invite you to check out this article, because I do think that the article is really interesting. It's a lot of interesting stuff in it. Like, one of the things that they say is that because of multitasking and the ways that we use technology now, we're all living essentially 32-hour and 17-minute days because of all of the multitasking that we're doing. But mostly this is about the ways that Gen Z is shaping the media landscape. And here's what I want to say about that. Do it. Gen Z, go ahead. Reshape the media landscape. I know there are going to be some people who don't like that, who are like, why you got to be on YouTube and TikTok? Why can't you just do it the way that we did it? They're going to say that regardless. Like, if you did it the way that they did it, you're not doing it the way that they want you to do it. Like, Gen Z, I just want you go ahead and reshape every landscape. I'm out here for that. That's why I'm highlighting this article. There's also this other thing that I've really got to dive into. Do y'all know what micro dramas are? Do y'all know what those are? Okay. My favorite thing is when I ask this question as a 45-year-old like Gen Xer, like, do y'all know what this is? And y'all give me this look like,
obviously.
is this a question? Like, how would we not know?
Derek, you could do the same thing if you're like, do you guys know what the Animaniacs are? And some people would not know the answer to that. So you could do it in reverse. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you, Neil. Always out here trying to make me feel better, and I appreciate it.
Not everyone's listened to Heavier Things cover to cover like 20 times like you and I have. It's fine.
20 times this month. Hallelujah. So I'm just interested in micro dramas, but I'm interested in general to the ways that y'all are reshaping all the landscapes. And I just do it. Just reshape all the landscapes and all of these articles where Gen Z is doing this thing and is changing this whole entire industry. Let's go. Let's do it. So those are the highlights for this week. Again, they're going to be on our Instagram page as well as in our link tree. Hope that you will enjoy hearing those, watching, reading, listening to all of that information, all of those highlights. And with that, we've got, I think, a couple of announcements. I'm not saying you're our announcement person. I am saying that you gave the announcement last week and you're giving the announcement this week. So to the degree that that matters, but I think you have an announcement first, Grace.
Did I give them last week? I thought Allison did last week.
Oh, Allison,
I've given them before though, so
like
before.
I'm glad, yeah. You're right. So yeah. Do you have an announcement for us this week?
I do. I don't want to hold it too close, but I'm like excited. So one, sadly, sad face, there is no community group tonight, which we mentioned last week as well, but just as a reminder, there's no community group tonight, which makes me sad. But we do have something really fun tonight, or to announce tonight, coming up. We have game night. It's going to be Friday, November 14th. That's Friday, November 14th at 6 p.m. It's going to be through our Discord. So if you're not on our Discord, connect with somebody, likely Derek, Allison, any of us really. We will find someone with an answer if we don't have the answer, but it's on our Discord. Again, that's Friday, November 14th at 6 p.m. Friday, November 14th at 6 p.m. Game night. Super fun. Super exciting.
Grace, thanks for those announcements. Awesome. So we are now going to move into one of our recurring segments. I don't know if you have noticed, like we do the highlights of the week, then we do announcements, and then we have these segments that just sort of recur back and forth, like we do it once a month or so. And so we've got this tonight's segment is called Story Time. Well, Michael, who is in the background, backstage, making sure that this whole thing actually happens, is going to give us our story for this week. So, Michael, it's good to hear your voice.
Hello. This is my voice that Derek is talking about.
It's good to hear it. It's good to hear it.
Oh, it's good to hear you guys' voices, but I get to see your faces too, which is nice. Okay, so our story that we're commenting on today, it's nice, short and sweet, broad topic here. The title of said post comes from a Reddit thread called "Am I Overreacting? My child is being lured into Christianity at school." So here's what the poster says. Some context: my child is 12 years old and attends a public middle school. We're not religious by any stretch of the word, and we're vocal about why at home. We've never prevented him from learning about religion. In fact, we implore him to learn all he can, but naturally he seems obstinate, likely because we are. Today, he stated that he got to school early today and saw a sign pointing into a classroom that said free donuts. He, of course, enters because children will sell their souls if it means they can have sugar. They invite him in, and it's some kids and a guy. He said he could have a donut if he stayed and participated. They proceeded to play some tabletop games, but then they were forced to give attention and listen to this guy read from the Bible. My child put 2 and 2 together that it was a school Christian club, and all of a sudden he's like, well, I didn't know they give out donuts. And then the mom puts like an annoyed face emoji there. And then she says, I'm uncomfortable. We specifically don't send him to a posh private school because we don't want religion or specific agendas pushed onto him. And we especially don't want him to be coaxed into a Bible study because of sweets. I can't imagine the fit that they would throw if I went and asked the school if I could start an evolution club, and I'll offer cupcakes and juice, and I'll read passages from the origin of species. I would get red listed from the school. Here's what I don't want. I don't want to be lectured about why I or my child need religion, because it ain't going to happen. But I would love actual advice about if I should do something about this or just let it go on and let my son make his own choices. And that's where we end.
Ooh, so the question is, am I overreacting? So, Tess, is our poster, is OP overreacting?
I have a lot of feelings about this. The specific question itself, I'm not sure I would say lured. Like, are they being lured into that classroom to listen with the donut on a string? Probably. Are they being lured into Christianity as a whole because they're sitting in a classroom list? It's also like, it's not a classroom lesson. It's an extracurricular. So I would say maybe a little bit of overreaction, but overall, I think the sentiment I hear is like, honestly, keeping religion out of public schools, which could go on for a while, especially with what happens here in Texas. But the question itself, like, am I overreacting? Maybe a little bit, especially because I don't know that the poster said how old the kid is, but it sounds like the kid has a pretty good grip on their thoughts about this. So I wouldn't be worried, but I can see where she's coming from.
Just clarification, child is 12 years old in middle school.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so like middle school, but even the conversation they had when he came home from school, I feel like he seems to know what's going on.
Yeah. So. Thanks for that, Tess. Yeah. I've got lots of thoughts too, but I want to hear what Neil has to say. Is OP overreacting?
Well, first, before I answer that question, one couple things I've pointed out. I think whoever OP is, like, I don't know if this takes place in a public school in Britain or not, because was that said? Because I heard the words posh, fit, and then what was there was another one that like kind of stuck out to me. That was another sort of Englishism. So it's curious what's going on over there. Derek will get this. You know what this reminds me of, Derek? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that one scene in Midnight Mass with like the sheriff and Bev and like that whole thing in the church. It's the exact thing.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, wait till Lent at 26 and you'll know what we're
exactly.
about.
Exactly. Yes. I'm just plugging the podcast. That's all
ready.
I'm doing.
Getting us ready. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Is the thing. I mean, I think it depends on whether or not this free donut thing was otherwise advertised as being like a Christian club thing, like if the child was just, well, hey, we've got free donuts, and then someone happens like if nowhere was it said, hey, this is a Christian thing, and we also have free donuts, then yeah, maybe that's like a fairly justified reaction. But if somewhere in the school they were like, oh, like we have free donuts and this is a Christian thing, whatever, then like, not the biggest not much of an overreaction, or maybe a little bit of an overreaction. I think I would just need the context of whether or not it was heavily advertised as such. And it's hard to say like the intentions of their being lured into it. You know what I mean? It's hard to ascribe those intentions to someone you don't really know. But I do at least recognize their concern as being real. Especially since like yeah, like she's right. Like kids will sell their soul if it means they get a sweet. Oh, sweets. That's what it was. She said sweets. But kids will sell their soul, for a sweet little treat, and which of us wouldn't at this point? But yeah, justified concern, but reaction maybe a touch big.
Appreciative, Neil. Thanks for that perspective. Grace,
Derek,
is OP overreacting?
I have notes.
Grace has notes.
So I just based on the info we have here, I think maybe OP could be overreacting. So okay, here's what it's giving. These are the things that it's giving to me is free donuts coaxed into Bible study is giving, hey girl, I was just wondering if you wanted to grab coffee. And then like you don't tell her what you're grabbing coffee over, and then you're at a coffee, and then suddenly the pastor's like, so maybe you shouldn't talk to boys. Maybe that's kind of inappropriate. Or like any of those things. Maybe you shouldn't show your shoulders as much. Kind of scandalous. Kind of tempting. It's so it depends on if like, and also I trust this 12-year-old in the way that the 12-year-old has like learned from the parents and has like kind of started engaging in some religion but is just like really not interested. I do not trust this 12-year-old to like convey the exact thing that they heard at the school, right? Because like hey kiddo, how was school? Fine. Oh yeah, what did you do? Class. Like so, right, so there's some likelihood, right, that this kid in explaining what happened, like it's possible that the kid like didn't give all the details, and so now the mom or the parent is like prone to overreact because of the information that the parent received from the kid who like maybe just didn't describe everything, or maybe the kid did. We don't know, we weren't there, and I would like to trust this kid and the parent. It's also kind of giving like church hurt. Like I'm wondering if like, because if I've been scorned by a church or by a specific denomination, and then like my kid is like, imagine if this parent got, hey girl, I would be hesitant to my kid getting hey girl by free donuts, because that is such a classic Christianity tactic. It's such a like, but it's so by the books of like, here's a free thing. Would you like to learn about Jesus Christ? He's great. Which like I think he is, and I think we should be giving out free stuff. But like those are unrelated. But I'm wondering like overall, like if your child is choosing fill in the blank thing, trust your kid, as you said you did, and be there for them in their decision, and educate your kid, right? So like if this kid decides to engage in some sort of Christianity, right? One, maybe they're engaging in it as like potential believer, maybe they're engaging in it as like ethnographic or like anthropological study, maybe more like anthro, but like maybe they're just like enjoying being a spectator. And also like if this parent or both parents have church hurt, because they said that they've talked about why they don't do church. They've said that they talk about why they're raising this kid non-religious and why the household isn't. So I don't know if like the parent is completely overreacting. They could be overreacting, but maybe for good reason. So I'm just thinking like educate your kid more, like balance out what your kid is learning. Learn what your kid's learning, right? You should know this anyway. You should know what your kids are seeing on TikTok. You should know like the type of information that your kid's being taught at school, including clubs that they're involved in.
Yeah.
So be an involved parent, but be a supportive parent.
Grace, I appreciate that. Appreciate all three of y'all's perspective, and I'll share mine in a moment. But I want to ask an additional question just to see if maybe like just see what we do with this. So I'm curious if there was one extra detail added to what we were given, just one. What would that detail be that you would say, Oh, girl, you overreacting.
I think okay, was the child like, were they just told free donuts if you participate, point blank, or free donuts if you come and stay at this before school Christianity club discussion? So like, were they coaxed into it? Did we have informed consent, or did we have a lack of informed consent? I think that would be the thing where it's like, no, your kid knew what they were walking into, and so you're overreacting.
Yeah. I hear that. Neil, Tess, one more detail. Oh, girl, yeah, you're overreacting. Calm down. This might be a lot.
I think for me, it would be like if the kid came home and said that, this happened, but they didn't want to go back again, or like they just showed no interest in it, then like as a parent, like I wouldn't be concerned, because I think I would trust my kid at that point. Like still the awareness that it's going on, so other kids, like that doesn't happen to them. But I think that for me would, like, to Grace's point also, if there was more context around the conversation, and if what the kid said actually happened, and like that whole thing, I think details there could maybe lend it more towards, oh, you're overreacting.
Yeah.
I think I think for me it's like I think like a little similar to what I was going around last time, or like it 12-year-old perspective. 12-year-olds, I mean, some 12-year-olds a little short, right? It's entirely possible for a 12-year-old to have walked past the sign on the door that maybe said Christian club. You know what I mean? If I was a parent and I showed up there the next day, like, and they're like, hey, what's going on, right? Because especially like if the parent goes to the school and it's like, hey, like, what are you doing to my child? What are you doing to my child? Whatever, right? It's like, and then they're like, oh yes, we host this Christian club thing in classroom 36, A or whatever. Like, yeah, it'd be like, yeah, girl, you're overreacting. Like that's just the thing that they have. Your child didn't know, like, whatever. Yeah. Also, like, just a little bit of spite when they're like, if I started hosting evolution club, it's like, you mean science class? Like, I'm sorry. You mean just science class?
You're gonna reinforce. Yeah, no, you're spot on, Neil. I love that. Thanks y'all for like entertaining that question. I have to say my response is OP overreacting. I want to invite OP to think through what they're doing with their overreaction, even if they are overreacting. I'm what do I want to say? Being a parent is so hard, and one of the hardest parts about being a parent is the regret you hold because you didn't do something. And so that regret like starts like day 2 of like, there are parents that literally like start having anxiety attacks day 2 when their kids here because of food they ate while they were pregnant. And like later, like day 2, you're really like starting to hold this regret. And so we're going to do this thing differently because of this regret that I haven't like figured out. And so I'm just thinking about like, I'm just wondering what else is in the reaction here of, were there other moments that like my kid found himself in a place that like he didn't realize that's what it was, and it like did, or and I think y'all kind of mentioned this, like, did it happen to her, or I don't know if it was the mom actually, or it could be 2 male parents, I don't know. So it could have happened to them as well. So I just wonder what the parent is doing with their reaction. And even if it is an overreaction, I hope that they'll, and I think y'all have named this, they'll be reminded that whatever they do next, like, their kid doesn't want to be embarrassed at school. So like, it doesn't even matter. Like, if the kid like literally was misled, like the kid does not want to be embarrassed. But I mean, like, number 1, don't embarrass your kid. Like, whatever you do, just like But number two, like I agree, Grace, you said this, like, oh man, like don't let some random person in a classroom with donuts be the only person talking to your kid about religion. As if like religion is something that they'll never be exposed to or never have to wrestle with or never have questions about. Gosh, like I really do hope that the parent is if they're not, like, it's fine, like they're not Christians. Like there's a lot of Christianity in the United States. We also did find out that OP is in Indiana. FYI. We did, that was some late breaking news. Yes. So there's a lot of Christianity in the United States. It's going to be really hard to avoid it. So I hope they're talking to their kid about, like, this is what these folks believe. I don't believe it. We're not structuring our family around that. This is out here. So that kind of stuff. There's a part of me that wants to agree and say, yeah, I think you're kind of overreacting. But I just want to acknowledge it's probably coming from a really beautiful place. And so I hope that, how do I say this? I hope that OP would channel their reaction, even if it's over. I hope that, yes, that OP would channel their reaction in a way that really does continue to center their child. All right. I hear that there might be one more piece of information before we're done.
Well, not really like any breaking like addition. I was just going to say the general verdict on this post, interestingly enough, was not overreacting. So this kind of general vibe was like, no, you're in your right. But I think everybody agrees with what you guys are saying too, because there's a lot of sort of like parenting advice components, right? So like this one comment says, as an atheist and a parent, I have some pretty bad news for you. Your kid is at the age where he's going to start hearing a lot of ideas and concepts you might not be a fan of. If this is how you react every time, you are going to be in for not a fun time. If you really want him to make smart decisions, you just need to start teaching him about finding the nuances in information like this. Like, and then another person specifically kind of said the same thing. They're like, this is a good teaching moment for teaching him about how like these sort of tactics are what people might do, you know?
Yeah.
And then one more comment here. You can fight him on this, but you're entering the worst period of your boy's life to try to win fights. The bigger the deal you make over him going to prayer group, the further he's going to get driven into it. I would say be available to talk about it, try to provide context, and play it cool.
100%. 100%. Well, this has been an incredible story time. I've really appreciated the conversation that we had. Why don't we, actually, before we go take a soul break, can I just say out loud, a donut?
No, like, they'll get you. No, they'll get you. Those hot Krispy Kreme donuts at 6:30 in the morning when you have to go to middle school. Are you kidding me?
I had a high school teacher who, like, he didn't profit off of them, let me say that. But he used to sell donuts on Wednesday mornings. All you had to do was bring a dollar bill, and like he was fronting the most of the money. So $1 wasn't even the actual cost of one. Making that clear, he's not over here profiting off of us. But like a dollar bill, you get a donut in the morning, and everybody used to do it. Like this man would come in with like 6 dozen donuts.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't really care that my dude's being lured into a classroom talking about Christianity. Parenting around donut. I need to stop. We need to take a soul break. So I think we know where we all land on this. And I was about to get myself in trouble. So I'm just going to stop right there. I'm invited to take a soul break as we begin to finish up tonight's Studio Wesley Live. Solid. I want to acknowledge Taylor, who's been in the comments, just making some really wise contributions to the conversation, particularly this one. The child's got to start to make their own decisions, and they do need to be supported. And again, I think that's the whole point, right? Like the desire to center the needs of this 12-year-old, for sure. So Taylor, shout out to you. As we're ending tonight, I want to just be aware, like we started out talking about the cold front coming in. Just we're all in some kind of degree of fall right now. Some kind of degree of fall. Jacksonville fall is not really fall, but it signals that there are things coming to an end when we're at this time of year, right? Like we're getting close to the end of the semester, getting close to the end of the calendar year. We're getting close to the end of the liturgical year, and things end. And sometimes we can anticipate those endings, like seasons, right, and calendars. And sometimes the endings happen just like, wait, whoa, wait! I didn't sign up for that to end right now, like that. Not right now, not yet. Like, and even the things that we know are coming. Sometimes these endings, even when they are before us and we've planned them, they leave us holding lots of loss and grief. So this week in the liturgical text, I use the liturgical text a lot. And this week, the Old Testament text was Haggai chapter 2, which I know everybody's read Haggai chapter 2 multiple times. You know exactly where it is in the Old Testament. Feel free to use the table of contents. I think I want to invite you to go read the Haggai 1 and 2. I actually think it's a really great story, but essentially there are these children of Israel that are back in Jerusalem. They've been in exile for several years. They're back. The temple had been destroyed, and now their work is to rebuild the temple. And in chapter 2, they're just starting to mourn the fact that the old temple was destroyed. They have a memory that's not necessarily their memory, but they have a cultural and ethnic and religious memory of this temple and the way things used to be. And the question before was like, we could rebuild the temple, but is it going to even like be good? Like, is it going to even be anything comparable to what used to be? And it's this moment that I think happens to all of us. And often I think if there's an assumption that older people have this moment of the thing that was in the past seemed really awesome. I'm not sure about the future. Hanging out with college students for most of my adult life, y'all are often working through loss. The loss of your high school friends, the loss of the ways that things were when you lived at home, the loss of the way that like a structure had been created for you both in high school and sometimes even in college, and then now some of you are getting ready tests that, well, actually all three of you, like you have to like figure out your own life. Like there's loss there, and I want to say that like it is very okay to name that things have been used to be really great. I think there's other losses that we can even name as we think about like the state of our country and the ways that the world is changing. And big and. One of the things that comes with being a follower of Jesus is this implicit belief that our life is more in front of us than it is behind us. So there actually is a whole lot more ahead for us than what is behind us. And therefore, it gives us a reason to hope that the future isn't going to necessarily be what the past was, but that doesn't mean it's going to be less or not as good. In fact, the future might be better than what was behind us. And tonight, I just want to invite, this is what the prophet Haggai in chapter 2 invites the people. He says, like, no, this next temple is going to be better than the last temple. In fact, this is going to be a place where we're all going to find peace. And he literally is trying to encourage these people to look forward. And so even as things are changing, this is now Derek talking to you. Even as things are changing, the endings are coming, the changing of the seasons, the semester is ending. Maybe you didn't give the semester the effort that it needed. Maybe you are missing the way things used to be years back. Maybe literally 2026 is shaping up to be a year that you literally you don't even know how you're going to get through it. I just want to say that it could very well be that what comes in front of us might be better than what is behind us. I don't know because I haven't been there. Like none of us have been to the future, but that's exactly it. None of us have been to the future. And again, one of the beautiful things that Christ followers, and I know not everybody that's watching are followers of Jesus, but I hope maybe you'll be inspired by this idea that our lives are ever more in front of us than they were behind us. That there is a reason to keep going. There's a reason to keep working. There's a reason to keep trying. There's a reason to keep putting forth effort because, yes, tomorrow could very well be better. And so, yes, I am dealing with loss in my own life, and I'm recognizing the changing of the seasons and endings that are happening all around me personally. And I don't know, there's something about tomorrow, that tomorrow might actually be a better day. I'm hoping that for you. I'm believing that for you. I'm praying that for all of you. So, friends, I hope that you are encouraged by those words. And it's always a good time here at Studio Wesley Live. John, I see you. I see you in the comments there. The windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror for real. My guy. Always good to see John in the comments. And it's always good to have this panel. Oh my gosh, Grace and Neil, y'all are always just solid. Tess, we met you in Florida. Keep living your best life in Dallas. And friends, always great to have you at Studio Wesley Live. We'll see you next week, 6 p.m. Gonna have a great time here on YouTube Live. And friends, just remember, you're deeply loved by God. Nothing could ever separate you from God's love. Be well. We'll see you next week.